We're going to talk about comparing and contrasting. We do that a lot when we read in order to help us understand more of what's happening. So a lot of the times when you compare and contrast, it's going to be a few different things. First of all, compare means how are things the same? Contrast means how are they different? But you might do, like in reading, either for an assignment or a test, but hopefully eventually in your head, you'll do comparing and contrasting of two characters. How are two characters in the story the same? How are they different? If you can figure that out while you're reading, then you can understand those characters better. And it kind of gives you a better way to predict because you understand what the characters are doing, how they're acting, how they're the same, how they're different, and then it helps you predict what they're going to do. So before we get to the point where you can just do it in your head, you use this. What's this diagram called? Venn. This is a Venn diagram. So anything that's outside here is what's different from each other, and if it's in the middle, it's what's the same. So compare them in the middle, contrast them on the outside. All right, so this isn't super hard, and I think you know or have done this a few different times, but I want you to start practicing with it. Whenever you're reading, if you find something in the story, like maybe they have two different settings, try to compare and contrast them in your head. Why? Maybe why did the author use or change the setting? How are they different? How are they the same? All of that helps to really deepen your understanding of what it is you're reading. So I'm going to show you with just a simple one. This is cat and dog. How are they different? How are they the same? All right, for the most part, you know how to do this and it's pretty simple, but I want to show you a couple things to make sure that you're thinking about them and you're getting them clearly. First of all, there's not enough room here to write a sentence. So try to keep it to a word or a short phrase. If you have to use like 2 lines, if your phrase is a little longer, you could do that. But keep it short, okay? It's not a big, long description. If you need to, draw some lines in there so that it's neat, looks neat while you're writing, okay? All right, so one of the things, this is one of my biggest things about using the Venn, is making sure that whatever you write, especially on the outsides, if I want to say they're different, I cannot use the word no or not. So a dog barks, I can not say doesn't bark, does not bark. Instead, I have to say what it actually does. So a dog barks, a cat meows. Okay? I could say something like a cat is related to a tiger, but a dog is related to a wolf. Okay? For the sake of you watching me, right? I'm just using R for related, but don't do that. I'm trying to go fast. Related to the tiger. Okay? Another difference might be that cats roam free. Like people just leave them outside and let them roam. But a dog, for the most part, has to be in the fence or on a leash. Okay, those are things that are different. And then in the middle, a lot of times my same is just one word. So for instance, a cat and dog, they're both animals. Okay, they both can be house pets. All right, they both like people, something like that. All right, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room for writing. So you have to try to write small, try to write neat, but I really want you thinking through. And I always try, my number is always 3. Try to do 3 differences, 3 of the same, but don't get stuck if you can't find 3, that's okay. But really start to try to think through them. So depending on what you're working on after you watch this video, whether it's something like this, just comparing and contrasting 2 dogs or 2 characters or 2 settings, I really want you to start thinking through it. The more you do it on paper, the more you start doing it in your head, the better you're going to understand what you're reading, which really makes reading fun and then makes you where you want to read all the time and you don't do it just because your teacher tells you you have to. All right, go do a great job. Do your very best work.